5 years ago, I started this YouTube channel, and after about 3 years of posting consistently on it, it started growing very, very quickly. However, I completely fell off the wagon. At one point, I was even growing at a rate of 30 subscribers a day. This was not because I was chasing subscribers. I kept track of all my goals at the time. If you looked at what my goal said, it was to change 1 million people's lives, or even 10 million people's lives. That is why I was doing it. And so I showed up every day excited to make the content, share my message, and what I've learned with you, with the world, with my audience. But instead of that, here we are years later, and I didn't achieve that goal, didn't even come close to it, and I fell off completely. The best way for me to summarize why I fell off is simply this. I started chasing money over impact. Now, I know that sounds super cliche. Over the last couple of years, my focus shifted to building my business and just that, and making as much money as possible rather than impacting as many lives as possible. You might think that those go hand in hand, but I got lost and I got led down a path that had me actually only caring about money. And when you only care about money, what I've learned, at least through my experience, is that you start to do things that may not necessarily align with what you would prefer to do and what would actually have changed those millions of people's lives that you initially intended for it to. The result of doing this was, okay, I fell off of YouTube, obviously, that's what we're gonna cover, but I did make a lot more money in the short term. But it also led to me absolutely hating everything that I started this for in the first place. It had me hating making content, it had me hating health and fitness itself, it had me hating what I was doing on a day-to-day basis, it had me hating what I was doing every single day when I woke up. Now, of course, the good news in all this, since I wasn't just lazy and that's why I fell off, is that I learned so many lessons along the way, not only about business, but also about life. So I'm excited to come back to the channel and bring those lessons to you, bring what I've learned, and perhaps a more matured, hopefully a more matured perspective from what I would have brought otherwise, which of course would bring purpose to the whole reason why this happened in the first place. So I started my YouTube channel about 5 years ago, and I just started posting content about what I was passionate about: health, fitness, building a better body, the habits I was doing at the time, what I was learning as I was going along. I would share those lessons with my audience. And of course, I was trying to grow this channel so I can impact as many people as possible. And that was happening. As a result of doing this, by the way, I was working up to, at one point, 100 hours in a week, because many of those hours were dedicated towards recording, editing, and planning at least 2 videos a week. I did not miss a single week for several years at the beginning. And then what happened was I started getting into business programs, business coaches, business mentorship. And then what happened was I went to a mastermind event. Okay, so I started a health and fitness business. Now, this is a fitness business mastermind type of event. I'm not going to name the name of it, but I went to this event, and at this event, I started seeing and hearing about things that I never saw or heard before, about how to make as much money as possible. I was sold on making 30K in a month. People are throwing these numbers out like nothing at this event. Oh yeah, they're making 30K, they're making 40K. And of course, I start to think, as a young 23, 24-year-old kid, I started thinking, well, I want to start making that tomorrow too. And I decided to sign up to this, and this starts costing me a lot of money. Now, as I started going down this path and money was the focus, I can make 20K a month. At the time, maybe I was making 6, 7, 8K a month just working manually one-to-one while I was uploading YouTube. Okay, so I wasn't making any money from YouTube. I wasn't making too much from the online business. It was a very small chunk. But then I realized I can make all my money from online. I can work from wherever I want, and I can make more money. So let's do that. So I started buying into their mentalities and what they're teaching you and all that type of stuff. And essentially, I started thinking more of becoming a CEO, and I am a CEO. If I'm going to make this much money, you better think of me and treat me as a CEO, and that's what I got to think of myself. What I realized later, and this is a topic for a different video, is that business coaches don't build brands. They literally only build businesses, and they are just trying to sell you on business coaching. Almost all of them are just constantly selling, which actually ruins brand. If you look back at all the videos that had me building this audience, there was basically no call to action except for subscribe, which is a free action. There was no buy this program. There was no reaching out to you, sending you constant messages and following up with you 1 million emails a month asking you to buy some sort of product or service. So I was building a brand. However, when it came to what I was doing now, I stopped building a brand. I started building a business, because you think business makes money today. That's true. Brand makes money tomorrow. And so what happens? Now I'm a CEO, okay? I start to detach from content creator, coach, fitness, passionate person that helps others, started caring about operations, reading books on all this stuff, leadership development, team management, hiring, firing, like everything across the board, lead generation, marketing, sales, etc. I was doing sales calls all the time, manual, outbound, all this type of stuff, very salesy stuff. As a result of this, I started selling people into this coaching program, which I wasn't very aligned with already, but I said, hey, it's gonna get people in better shape than they are in now, so it's helping people. And if I can get rich off of it, that's what matters most at the time. Now, what I realized is the people that I was selling mostly into this program were women, and women of, 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm starting to get transformations and testimonials from them, so I should probably cater my marketing and my niche to that group of people just to make things more efficient. Well, there's a problem there. The problem is the content I was posting on YouTube was aligned with me, my mission, my values, my teachings, and they would resonate with somebody probably in a similar situation as me, a younger, typically male, my audience on YouTube is more male dominated, younger male who's trying to do the same things, improve his life, improve his health, improve his fitness. I have nothing against helping older women or women in general. Of course, there's women that watch the channel and get help from it as well. But the point is the message now was completely detached from what the business was. And my entire goal was making as much money as possible. So I started to care more about this than my message and my content and all of that. And you'll start to see that somewhere around 2020, of course, we had certain events that happened at that time, but that sort of only facilitated making more content, to be quite honest with you. I started falling off from it because at that time I started making even more money. I got to a point where I was making 20, 25K in a month. And so you're thinking, why am I bothering recording a YouTube video for people that are gonna see it but are gonna become part of the business because they're not my niche? So I naturally started to fall away from it. YouTube started to take a lower and lower priority. Content in general shifted. My Instagram became less about me. In fact, I switched the name to represent the company and not me because, you want to scale a business, you don't want to be the face of it, and priority of making content went down. All the content I was making was now all marketable to this arbitrary niche of people, not aligned with me. It was calories and macros and metabolism and all this bullshit that was true, but it's just a dime a dozen. Anybody can talk about this. There was no relatability to me. I stopped showing up on Instagram stories. I stopped caring to show my face. In fact, I didn't want to show my face because I just wanted to scale and grow this business so that eventually I could come back and do what I initially wanted. I know it sounds pretty insane, but that's kind of how I thought of it. But this time I'll come back and I'll be rich. I'll have all these accomplishments. This was my line of thinking. Even throughout this process, I had an entire team delivering everything for me. I had salespeople. I had hired over 20 people and fired some people, learned leadership, learned team management. So I learned a lot along the way. This is not a knock on any of what I experienced, but it's to explain to you that I went down that path, and in the end, what happened was, as of the beginning of 2023, I got to a point where I really started just despising every single day of what I was doing. So much so to the point where for the first time, probably ever in my life, I started actually actively applying and looking for online jobs. I thought, okay, I'm too good for this fitness thing, and I don't want to do this fitness business anymore. I hate it. I hate calories. I hate macros. I hate fitness. I'm too passionate about business is what I thought. I am beyond fitness. Even though the business was making good money each year, I just didn't care for it anymore. I realized that I would rather do something that I actually love. You start to realize that money is not the end goal. Doing something that aligns with your values and fulfilling your purpose, to me, is the most important thing. That is where I get all of my excitement, my motivation, my passion, my drive from. So believe it or not, making more money, it was short term and it was actually taking my drive away. I kept thinking, all I was thinking about, all I was focused on, how do I get this to 50K? How do I get this to 100K? How do I get this to 200K? To the point where it was just insanity and it was a rat race that I was not willing to be a part of anymore, and it wasn't aligned with me. So instead, I switched business models when it occurred to me that what I was doing at the beginning was the right path. Just because I wasn't making money from it at the beginning, I thought, well, I can't pay the bills and I can't sustain myself doing this. The reality is I was building brand and I was building something that would help other humans, hopefully many other humans. And the result of that is a brand that I'm actually proud of and aligned with. So when I do release certain products, when I'm endorsing things, they're actually things that I care about and can get behind fully. And even though my income did drop when I made that shift throughout the beginning of this year, I am still 10 times more motivated, more excited. And now I can finally come back on and bring the content that I was initially purpose-driven to create and to share with you. My journey in health and fitness and getting in the best shape possible, developing your mindset, building a disciplined mind, a strong body, building the right habits, cultivating a drive and a purpose that is worth waking up for every single day. That is not what I was sharing. And that's why I thought that that's what I was resenting. But I was really just resenting talking about this mundane bullshit, catering to an audience that I didn't resonate with, selling them into a service that I wasn't even 1,000% aligned with. Again, I'm grateful for everybody that was in it. So without rambling on any further, because I have many lessons and many things that I can split into different videos, the conclusion is this: I essentially sold my soul for money for those last few years, almost without realizing it, because I fell down the marketing trap of make 30K tomorrow. And the reality is I would rather help 30,000 people. If I need to be in a position where I need to make it happen and I'm running low, I'll find a job or I'll do whatever I have to bring that back up. So there's no worry there. And when money starts to fall to the wayside, because I never really valued it that much, and sure, everybody wants millions of dollars and I want these fancy cars, and someday I do plan on having them, but I don't care when that day comes. I don't care about 30K next month. I don't care about hit these numbers and sell this person, these salesy tactics. All I care about is being aligned with my values. And what's aligned with my values is bringing the content to you, helping you change your life. All throughout that time, I was getting comments every day, and I appreciate all of you watching my videos, positive comments. Yeah, the odd negative one, but you know what? Those fueled me up just the same, because I was in the game. If you are watching this and you're a returning subscriber, I am forever grateful for you. I am going back to my purpose on other social platforms. Feel free to follow. The links will be down in the description as well. So TikTok, Instagram, and I also just finished the new website. If you want to go ahead and check that out, you can do that as well. The purpose of the channel going forward is to help people build a disciplined mind and a strong body. Whether you're a man, woman, young, old, whoever it is that resonates with this message, that is what we're going to be talking about. Habits, cultivating the right mindset, being strong mentally, building a strong body, being able to think critically, think for yourself, challenging ideas of the world, not just blindly following them for no reason, and developing yourself to be the best possible version you can become. Increase energy, increase confidence. I'll be dropping other content on the other platforms, so again, if you want to follow there, I'd love to see you. Shoot me a message while you're at it, and let me know if you have any questions or topics. You can drop a comment below for them as well, and I'm more than happy to cover them with my own perspective, and hopefully you find it helpful. So with that said, thank you for watching this video and listening to my message. Let's level up together, and I'll see all of you who do so at the top. Talk to you soon. I'm out.